Hi, so in this video I'm going to look at reverse percentage problems. I've put in brackets underneath finding the original. It's really important that you just remember what percentage in any question is the original amount, because the original amount is always 100%. Now there are lots of different ways of doing this, but I'm going to show you what I feel is the easiest approach for this particular type of question. And it always works. You can do it with or without a calculator. I'm going to use a calculator today, but if it's a non-calculator paper, the method remains the same. It's just that the numbers will be easier and you'll be able to do the calculations in your head or on pen and paper. So, two examples here. Again, one where there's been an increase and one where there's been a decrease. So, question number one. A dress is reduced by 15% in a sale. The sale price is £120. How much was it before the sale? Now, the classic mistake that people always make here is they find 15% of 120 and they add it on, and that's wrong. And like I said to you, the reason why it's wrong is because you're looking at what is the original amount. The original amount is your 100, okay? And what you've got to remember is that 15% of 120 is going to be very different to what 15% of what the original price was. So although the percent stays the same, you know, 15% of 50 is different to 15% of 150. So you've just got to bear that in mind. And I find the easiest way to do this is by saying to yourself, well, what percentage have I got if I don't have 100%? So that's where I always start. So the sale price is 120% and it's been reduced by 15%, okay? So if it's been reduced by 15%, then that 120 that we've got there is 85%. So that's where I always start. So £120, which is my sale price, is actually the equivalent to 85% of the original price. Now then all we do is we just try to, essentially what we want to get the original, remember the original is 100%. So we just scale up or down to be able to get what 100% is. Now there are lots of different ways that you could do it. You could find your own different technique, but one that will always work blanket across the way is by just doing a division by that number to take you to 1%. Because if you've got 1%, then all you need to do to go from 1% to 100% is times by 100. So if I do 85 divided by 85, I get 1, and if I do 1 times 100, I get 100. Now what we then have to do, you may think, okay, well that's fine, but how does that help? Well, you just do the same process over here. So I'm going to do 120, and I'm going to divide it by 85. And if I do that, I get, now I'm getting a long decimal, I'm just going to write it out for now. So I get 1.41176 and so on, and some more digits. And then I'm going to times that by 100, and if I do that, I get 141. Now remember, I've got to go to two decimal places. It's 0.176, and the next digit is a 4, so actually that leaves the, it's 0.176, and the 6 rounds the 7 up, so therefore I get 0.18, and you can see that here, because obviously if you times by 100, the numbers are just moving over to the left 2 places. So that is essentially your answer. That's the price of the dress. Nice and straightforward. All I've done here is then times that by 100. Now I've got a similar situation here, but this time there's an increase rather than a decrease. So Mia has been given a pay rise of 5%. She now earns £27,000 a year. How much did she earn before? So just in exactly the same way as before, what is the percentage that I've got? So the amount I've got is 27,000, and I've increased by 5%. So if I've increased by 5%, I've now got 105%. Okay. Now I want to change 105% into 100%. So, simple way of doing it, divide by 105, that gets me 1%, and then times by 100, that gets me 100%. And the 100% is the original, and that's what I'm after. So we do the same over here. So I'm going to divide by 105. So if I take 27,000 and I divide that by 105, I get 257.14285 and some more numbers. And then I'm just going to times that by 100. And if I do that, I get 25,714 pounds. Now it's 285, so the 5 rounds the 8 up to a 9, so pounds 29. Remember, and if you've got money, you have to put 2 decimal places down. Okay, so there are my 2 answers, and that is how you calculate it. Now, as I say, there are other methods and techniques out there, but this is what I find the easiest way of doing it. It's just a simple method of scaling, okay, and changing from the amount that you've got to your original. Just remember, the amount you're given in the question in these cases is not the original amount. So if you equate it to what the percentage actually is, then it will help you to be able to find out what the answer is to the question.